Alrighty, so I'm gonna try to tell the story in under 30 minutes because I only have 30 minutes. So yes, starting off with, did this guy in high school, this guy has a cousin, keep cousin in mind. Dated this guy in high school and he broke up with me, and time passed, got back together. I broke up with him. A little time passed. Cousin reaches out to me. It's like, hey, wanna, hang? I'm like, nah, I dated your cousin. Nah, this is in high school. In high school, while this is happening. So, finished high school. I finished the rest of high school. Let me see, when did that happen? That was around 10th grade. So I go through 11th, 12th grade. Between 10th and 11th grade. So I go through 11th and 12th grade, single, whatever. Graduate high school, start living my own life, figuring out stuff. Dated this other person, an older person. It didn't really work out. Broke up with him July 2023. Yes. Yes. No. Wrong. Broke up with him July 2022, actually. And then later on down the line in November, let me just say this. Before I broke up with that guy in July 2022, I was being reached out to by the ex-boyfriend from high school. He's all like, get together. And I'm like, no, I have a boyfriend. He's whoop-de-whoop, whatever, not trying to break up a happy home, all that, blah, blah, blah. So, broke up with that guy in July 2022. Working on myself. Fast forward November 2022. Yes, November 2022. During this time, as I am broken up, not conversating in get together kind of way, more of like jokes, hee ha ha, this, that, whatever day conversations that I'm having with the ex-boyfriend. Conversations start to happen more after I broken up with that guy. Broken up July 2022, having conversations, but mainly just working on myself, not trying to, whatever. November 2022. The ex-boyfriend is like, hey, let's give it another try. I'm like, fuck it, why the fuck not? Give it another try. So, trying. It's the same shit as it was in high school. The reason why we broke up with each other in high school, being that, it's like the person, he just wasn't a real person. I don't know. No ambitions, no wants, no goals, no life. Like, just kind of was there. Worked, made money, but just was there, So, it was that same stuff, I was constantly asking for reassurance and, blah, 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 this, that, whatever. Too much for him. Guy breaks up with me July 2023. Crazy, right? How that just lined up, Whatever. Guy breaks up with me in July 2023. Cool. Whatever. Working on myself again. Fuck it. Forget it. Not having conversations with this guy for the time being, because I'm like, what the fuck? Why? What was your reasoning? Blah, blah, blah. He has no reasoning, just doesn't believe in love. The relationship wasn't supposed to happen again ever in the first place. Okay, cool. I got all my reasonings. It wasn't supposed to happen. Cool. Me and him are still conversating back and forth because, like I said, it was like questioning why, what is going on, whatever. But I went to the mental hospital, again, working on myself because I had completely just crashed. I completely lost my sense of self again. And I was just gone. So, check myself into the mental hospital, working on myself again with no distractions, this and that. Came out feeling much better about myself, more confident about myself. Still was talking to ex-boyfriend, however, kind of was trying to see if, you know, he's trying to work on himself, do the same thing, whoop-de-whoop. He's not paying attention. He goes off to, before basic training, military training, whatever. He goes off to that. I think he was gone for like a total of 6 months. So he goes off to that. I think it was around like August-ish. I'm really not sure. I really don't know. But I know that this was a part of, he broke up with me July 2023. So, admitted myself around August, September, October. My house got shot up with a separate incident that was going on with a separate family member, so we were immediately evicted, had to find somewhere to stay. So by this time he is gone. I think ex-boyfriend maybe left around October, beginning of October, or the end of September, somewhere in between then. But I had asked my ex-boyfriend's mom, hey, could I crash at your place until I figure out what the fuck to do with my life? She's like, sure, whoop-de-whoop. It's not really a big space. It's a 3-bedroom house. She has 5 kids, and they're all kind of little. So, yeah, every day they're getting ready for school. I'm kind of in the way. So it was just a hassle. But I'm making it do, staying back and forth between my auntie and my ex-boyfriend's mom's house. Around this time, cousin comes back up. So apparently, his cousin was staying with him, until he can get on his feet. They kicked his cousin out because, I don't know, they said they was using the room for the twins. They kicked his cousin out whenever ex-boyfriend went to before basic training. So they kicked him out before then, and then time passed, boom, he left and went to that, and then time passed, boom, house got shot up. I needed somewhere to stay. I'm like, boom, can I crash here? They're like, sure. So they let me crash there. And at this time, cousin has another, Airbnb type situation where he's staying. So like I said, it's pretty crowded, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. Cousin, throughout high school, me and cousin are friends. We talk during class, talk at lunch, everybody kind of get together, be cool. So, I get a new job, start making more money. It's a late job, and I'm just kind of like up all night. I don't really sleep in the house because she has 5 kids. There wasn't any room. Kind of just needed a place to store my things and a place to shower and shit. So, I mainly slept in my car. He comes over to, I guess that's his aunt, maybe cousin, I'm not sure. Comes over, and because he drops something off to her. He sees me, he's like, hey, what's up? Whoop-de-whoop. Hey, you want to hang out? Want to smoke one? Sure. We smoke, talk about life and life so far and what the fuck. And yeah, we're both kind of in a homeless situation, whatever. And he goes on about his business. Kind of from then on, we started hanging out a bit more. Then his homeboys, started hanging out. Then we all was just hanging out together. It's just me and the guys, especially after work. I work late. I get off late. After work, I'm hanging out with the guys because they ain't got shit else to do. So we're just up smoking and talking and chilling, playing music. So time passed. It's around November 2023. I make enough money to finally get an apartment. I get my apartment. Pause. Before I skip over to that part. So, yeah, we're just smoking, chilling, hanging out. Every now and then, I ask if I could shower at his spot. Because like I said, she has 5 kids. They're all getting ready and all just everywhere. There's no room. So, every now and then, shower over there. Whoop-de-whoop, he's not there when I shower. He goes on about his business. I go in there, do what I have to do. I go on about my business. Cool. All of that. So, November 2023, get my first apartment at the Chelsea. Move in. Weirdly, around that same time, his Airbnb situation is not working out anymore. So they're kind of kicking him out, saying, they're been expecting to rent to other people and all of that. So he's kind of back in the same situation. Nowhere to go. He's like, hey, could I just store my clothes until I can find somewhere to whoop, whoop, whoop? Yeah, sure. Of course. So his clothes are at my house, and I go on about my day, shower, whoopie whoop. When I get up for work, he goes, I was living in a dorm situation. So he was mainly sleeping in the car, or he would sleep over at his homeboy's crib, or he would sleep on the couch. When I get up and go to work, he goes to sleep in the bed, takes a shower, do whatever he has to do, and then leaves, and whatever. And that was our situation for the rest of 2023. 2024, January, between December, January, ex-boyfriend comes back into town, and he's, No. Before December. Let me make sure I get everything. So, like I said, November, I was able to move into the Chelsea. I was able to do that. Around November, when I first moved in, like I said, still having conversations with ex-boyfriend, but I'm done with ex-boyfriend. He's done with me. He let it be known that it's done. I'm done with him. Cool. Move in November 2023, and I'm like, he comes into, no. Thanksgiving happens. Around Thanksgiving, I'm like giving it one more shot. I'm like, hey, so, do you think you can give us a try, with you having been down there by yourself, thought things through, thought things out? Do you think you can give us, he was all like, I really don't want a relationship. I don't want to do the relationship at all. I don't really want to be with anyone. I don't see myself being tied down, all of that. Again, like it shouldn't have happened in the first place. But we can still fuck though. And I was like, damn, you just want to use me. He said, yeah, I ain't busting nothing in a minute. Exactly his words. Okay, after that point, I'm like, whatever, cool. I'm cool off cuz. I don't want nothing else to do with cuz, bro. I don't want none of that shit. So, we're still conversating. What I mean by conversating, the guy goes, how's your day going? How you doing? Going good? Woo, did you eat? Da-da-da, blah, 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 whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's the conversation. Okay, bye. That was the conversation. So, during this time, later on, towards the beginning of December, no, it was towards the end of November. Like I said, I was like, whatever, cuz I'm cool off you. Do whatever you want to do. Whatever. Towards the end of November, I'm like, dang, like I said, because we're conversating. We're friends at this point. But you can't fuck me. I'm like, man, I don't know. We just conversating. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay rent this month. I'm gonna like hop on this DoorDash and just go crazy. Ooh-doo. And then he's all like, I can help you. And I'm like, no, I don't need you to do that. I can, hop on this DoorDash and figure it the fuck out. And he's like, I don't mind helping you, Shit. I got the money. I'm like, well, shit. I'm not asking you to help me, but if you want to send the money, cool. Whatever. And that was the conversation. All right, entering into December, we getting towards the middle, like Christmas. He comes home for like the Christmas break. And, I'm telling him, hey, bro, this not, hell nah, say you ain't got nothing to do with me. We ain't got nothing to do with each other. We're not finna fuck. We're not finna be none of that. No. No. And he's all like, what? What you mean? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's gonna be okay. Give me a hug. We was literally walking to Walmart. He literally hugs me, and I'm like, I'm not gonna hug you back. He's like, you're gonna hug me back. You're gonna hug me back. I'm not gonna hug you back. Did not hug the guy back. I'm like, dude, I'm just cool. Like, I'm cool off here. Like, you wanted to do what you want to do. You don't want no relationship. Cool. Then he said, I heard you been hanging out with my cousin, because one of his other cousins had seen us hanging out together. And I was like, yeah, I've been chilling with cuz. We just chilling. We smoking, hanging out. It ain't just me, It's him and the guys. We're all just chilling. It is what it is. But you don't want nothing to do with me. Goodbye. Like, why is you pressing me? Leave me alone. You're not gonna fuck on me. It's not gonna be that. Goodbye. And at this time, like I said, I'm not looking cousin's way. I'm not looking towards the way of cousin. We've been hanging out. Oh God. We've been chilling. But I'm not looking for a relationship with this guy. The guy, we smoke. The guy literally is like, let's smoke. I'm like, hell yeah. Oh God. Who's finna turn down free smoke? Okay, so I told him it is what it is, bro. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, you still gonna help me with my rent? That's something that you said that you was gonna do. You ain't got to, like I said. You don't have to. You can do whatever, But you said that he sends me money for my rent. So he pays half my rent. Whatever. Cool. And then, the guy sends a letter. Is this around March? This is, okay, I'm in December. Still in December, hold on. Pays half my rent and all of that. Cool. So, January, February, March, January, February, I'm cooling. I'm gonna say January, I'm cooling. February, me and cousin started getting a little bit closer. We started. It slowly went from sleeping on the couch to sleeping on the bed, on top of the covers with his own blanket, to sleeping under the covers, to cuddling. Slowly built up to that around in January, early February. February, we started smashing. Yeah. February, we started smashing. March, I write a song about the ex person. So, cool. We chilling, we smoking, we riding. Me and, I'm with the guys. We're hanging out. Like I said, me and cousin, we become a little bit closer. Around March, April-ish, I get a call from ex's sister. She's like, hey, there's a letter over here for you. I'm like, a letter? The fuck? Go pick up the letter. I read the letter. The letter is, this guy is just like, hey, we're going to get together. We're going to get married, have a family, and we're going to, do all the life stuff that you wanted to do. And I'm just, okay. I burned the letter. Burn it. Completely burn it. I don't know if I sent him a response or if I didn't. I don't know. I really don't remember. I remember him being like, I didn't want to kind of like just say all of this while I was there because I was getting ready to leave again, but I just wanted to let you know. And I was just like, bro, I'm cool. You said that it wasn't supposed to happen. Let's just leave it at that. I'm cool. You can go do whatever you want to do with whoever you want to do it with, but I'm not going to be your fuck buddy. I'm just not. You don't want a relationship, you don't have to have a relationship. I'm not going to be your fuck buddy. And then I remember he sent a text and he was like, could we talk about it? And I said, sure, we can talk about it whenever you want to talk about it. He never texted me back ever again after that message. And that was around March, April, May-ish. After that message, he's never reached out to me ever again. And that's of 2024 now. We're in 2024. March, April, May-ish of 2024. So cool. I'm going on about my merry, happy life. Doing whatever I do. And November 24 comes again. And then I move again into another apartment. In December, I find out that I'm pregnant. Oh my gosh, yay, pregnancy, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's happy, excited, me, and, we're scared to death. I'm going to say now boyfriend. Cousin, that was cousin, is now boyfriend. Like, we started dating around March, April, May. That's when we started getting kind of serious, But by December 2024, I become pregnant. So, here's the real part of the story. Here's the that was the intro. Here we go. So, I become pregnant and all of that. And we have a, get together, have a gender reveal. Everything's going well, swell. Everything's cool. All the stuff for the gender reveal wasn't there, but it went great. It was amazing experience. I loved it. I loved it so much. So, now we get to the baby shower. This is the big part. So, the baby shower, I made a group chat. It's called hey, it's a baby shower. I said, okay, this chat is for planning the baby shower. Would anyone like to cook for the event so we don't have to pay for catering? If that can be done, that would be great.